The Zika virus is upon us. What does this mean?
The World Health Organization has declared a pandemic as the disease continues to spread around the world.
Oh God, a pandemic? We're all doomed! Oh, wait a minute. That was actually someone talking about the swine flu. So what's going to happen with the Zika virus then?
This morning, the disease detectives have identified 4 close contacts that they are going to be actively monitoring. While the bowling alley that the patient recently visited is being completely scrubbed, they're taking no chances.
Oh God, the Zika virus is in America. We're all doomed! Oh, sorry. That was actually a clip of the Ebola virus from last year. Okay, well, myself has been sufficiently braced. Let's take a look at the horrible news about the Zika virus.
The most common symptoms include fever, rash, headaches, and red eyes. But 80% of people who get Zika won't even know they have it.
Oh, that's it? Well, in that case, I'll go back to exposing myself to bodily fluids while sticking my arms in buckets of mosquitoes. Until then, this is the Zika virus, loudly explained. Loudly explained! Howdy gang, welcome to Loudly Explained, a weekly series where I take a popular yet misunderstood topic and within a few minutes, yell a complete explanation of it into this camera with a smattering of jokes throughout. Go ahead and leave a comment below if there's anything in particular that you'd like to hear loudly explained. Now, the first topic that I'm going to be talking about is the Zika virus. You've probably heard about it over the past few days or even weeks, but the Zika virus has actually existed for over half a century, originating in a narrow equatorial belt between Africa and Asia. Now, like most things in a narrow equatorial belt between Africa and Asia, up till now, we didn't care about it because it wasn't going to happen to us. It is named after the Zika forest in Uganda, where it originally came from, making it the first thing in Uganda to go viral since that anti-homosexuality pastor guy.
One of the things they do is called anal leaking, where a man's anus is leaked like this by the other person, like ice cream.
Since it was first isolated in 1947, the Zika virus has been known to cause a usually mild illness known as Zika fever. Now, there are generally no symptoms, but since its emergence in Latin America, it has been linked with a series of birth defects, and specifically a condition called microcephaly, where babies are born with unusually small heads. So there could be any number of sophisticated solutions to this problem, considering that it's not as immediate a health risk as, say, something like the Ebola virus. So, what have the governments of Latin America proposed? Let's bring on those well-researched health tips.
El Salvador is joining the list of Latin American countries urging women to delay getting pregnant.
So, Latin America's actual public health policy is, hey everybody, stop making babies right now. Okay, for how long? I don't know, however long the Zika virus is finna be chilling here. Okay, but can you give us like a ballpark estimate? 2 years? Remember that the Zika virus often has no identifiable symptoms, meaning that for all intents and purposes, the governments of Latin America are actually proposing that no babies be born for the next 2 years. A zero-child policy. Can you imagine the implications of this? By 2021, all Brazilian preschools would be closed for business, and Bolivian learners' permits would be collecting dust between 2034 and 2036. This is like trying to prevent traffic accidents by saying that all cars are banned and that everyone just has to travel by self-balancing two-wheeled board, which A, is impractical, and B, f*** those things, they look stupid and I'm glad they're randomly exploding. Now, you can't totally blame Latin America for attempting such a broad catch-all solution to this problem, especially given that the Zika virus is so difficult to identify and there's currently no cure. However, in a region where roughly 56% of pregnancies are reported as being unwanted or mistimed, where contraceptive access is heavily limited, where abortions are illegal under all circumstances, and where often women are prosecuted for, quote, suspected abortions, what we call miscarriages, then it shouldn't be a surprise when the response to the government's call for everyone to stop having babies is a resounding, "We're trying, dudes." Now, I know I'm not totally being fair, because El Salvador has actually taken some action on this issue. Right now, El Salvador is providing pregnant women with bug spray. Progress!
Oh, by the way, I was being sarcastic.
So, does this mean anything for us here in the United States? Because as with any news story, if it doesn't directly affect us right now, we'll learn a little bit about it, but then we're going to go right back to posting our hilariously fresh takes on the Bernie versus Hillary meme. Well, let me just say this. There is no need for us to engage in hysterical panic. We should retain our current national anxiety level of mild panic. Because, after all, the Zika virus has not spread very much at all in the United States, and all the reported cases have been due to travel to an infected country. So, unless for whatever reason, just randomly people all over the world were to gather in Brazil during the hottest climate of the year, when mosquitoes are the most prevalent and when the virus can spread most easily, like, I don't know, say in early August, everything should be just fine. Literally millions of jokes have been made about Donald Trump in the last year, so maybe the comedic well has dried.
Are you ready to make America great again?
Never mind.